Hi everybody, this is Jazz, aka Trend Trader for you. Wanted to point out JDST, the trade that I called out into the stock tweets, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. It's all LinkedIn. So what I called out on this trade was I was trying to pick the bottom, and many times out of the trades that I call out the bottom, they do work and give you an instant pop so you can lock in some profits. So anyway, so I'm gonna start from looking at it from daily. I'll try to give you guys a little bit of clues why I actually thought that was putting a bottom in there. So I'm going into the daily chart, right? So making higher highs, higher lows every single day. And look, if it's up in a vertical climb, it's not gonna keep on going up and up and up. It's gonna have some kind of a pause, or it's gonna have some. Okay, sorry about that. The toys just went by itself, and I was trying to find the power button on it. But anyway, sorry for the interruption. So what I was saying is that any stock that has a vertical climb, it's gonna have some kind of a retracement, and exactly what this did today. And if you look toward the left of it, look, this was the past resistance point. Look where exactly the stock bounced up from. You see what I'm saying right here? It bounced up from a previous resistance, which now became support. Okay, that's as far as I'll go in that. So I'll go into 3 minute now. Okay, so what I called, let me show you guys that trade. I said JDST, risky. I made it caps lock so that it's only made for advanced traders. If somebody's following me, if you're a beginner or a novice, you don't want to take this trade. This is probably a trade similar to like you're taking a futures trade, okay, like a TF or CL or any kind of other future instrument. And what I said was play long, but long, risky play, but long above 31.22 with stop 30.28. So if you go right here, this is where I call long above 31.22. I gave a little bit of room, otherwise I would have gotten in right around here, and I said with a stop 30.28. Again, guys, for some reason, I don't know why I picked 30.28. In fact, my stop was a little bit below that. It was around 30.23, but he never touched the 30.28, but it came really close to had the low of this was the 30.30, so it was really low. The reason why I picked that a little bit of wide of a loss because of the spread on it. That's exactly why I said this is a risky stock. If you are going to play this, you need to have somewhat of a leverage on there. You don't want to put the exact stop right below a penny. I always give a few pennies here and there so that I don't just get stopped out just by 1 or 2 pennies. So I always have like 3 or 4 pennies. So when I enter, same thing again. I'll have it depends on how spready the stock is. If not, if there's only 1 cent spread, maybe I'll go 2 cents. But if it's spreading like this was about I want to say about 8 to 10 cent is easy spread on it. So I was aware of it, and that's why I said it was a risky entry. In fact, the initial trade that I called on this one was long above I believe 32.14. Then I changed it because I saw something in here that looked like appealing. Then I called it out. And here, if you look at it, this stock was down about $7 all the way from here. It was opened at around 37, came all the way down to 30, 30, 45, around that area, right? So why I did, I got in here, right? 30, 31, 22, and gave me a quick pop. And to be honest, guys, if this was a day trade, and I was trading a little bit larger size or larger quantity, I would have been out easy. I mean, this was giving me 31.78 from 30, 31.20. I'm with my day trades, I'm out at 30 cents, and then I let the stop trail, or I get out as it goes up. I never let it come down and stop me out, or I'll just probably move it to break even. Worst come the worst, I'll keep my stop right below, but I have to make sure that I'm making enough money, even though if it comes down, because the profit from the first lot or the first time I sold it was more than enough that even if it comes down, it'll still give me a break even. Worst comes the worst, or some kind of profit. With this one, I set in right around here, JDST trigger. 31.97 is the first target, and that was a little bit of miss on here, which I was kind of disappointed. It didn't I wanted to go a little bit above, and which it didn't, and totally fine. So but I wanted to stick with my rules. My rules was to have the stop. And here's the thing: if I was playing with larger size, I would have been out. But to be honest, all I was playing was 50 stocks, simple as that. And all I was risking $50 because that's exactly how much I wanted to risk. I didn't want to risk any more than that because of the the spreadness of the stock, and it was a risky stock. So I'm like, you know what, let's try to call the bottom. And it gave me the clues to call the bottom. That's, I mean, I didn't just go in there try to call the bottom, and I just went in, analyzed it, and I said, this makes sense. Let me just make this call, and hopefully it'll work. Okay, again, hope, think, feel, that should be out of your vocabulary. But based on what I knew, my goal was to enter here, have the stop here, and let this guy work, right? So, and I said I'm trading small, so my targets are farther. That's because if I'm risking $50, I don't want to take 30 cents out of it, right? I want to let it ride, even though all I pay is $1 for 100 stocks traded through TradeStation, which works out great. All I'm risking is $2, in and out, so which is awesome. So, anyways, guys, so I said otherwise I would have been out already. JDST might be a stop out, but the stop is still on the same position as it's a small position. And I mean, I guided you guys as I went through this trade. There was no hindsight, no nothing. I said this is where my stop is. If you guys want to move your stop, in fact, I mean, if somebody took it, I'm sure they moved their stop, or either they took a loss, or either they said, you know what, let me just break even and I'm out, which is totally fine. There is nothing wrong with that. But did you follow your plan? That's where you need to correct your plan. If you didn't follow your not plan, go in your journal and write in there, okay, I didn't follow this plan for this trade. Count all the trades that you took in your journal, and at the end see how many of the trades you actually followed the plan and how many of you didn't, and how many of the that you did follow the plan, how many were the big winners, or with the ones that you didn't follow the plans. And if you had followed the plan, was that a winner or a loser? So you have to go in there, make your trade journal, and all this needs to be documented. Okay, so at the end I said JDST, there it is, guys. Still stick I meant sticking to the rules, and success will be there. And exactly what happened, guys. This is a and as soon as we went up, I mean, I took off. Remember, I wanted to 31.97 was my target. I took off some, and then I left some right. And I believe it came down here and it went up, and I sold a little bit over here. And that was a trade for me, and which is totally fine. If I wanted to get in a trade, there was another trade right in here. If I wanted to get in a trade out, there was a trade right in there. But the whole point is that, sticking to your plan, the stock could go to the moon from here on. 31.22, it's at 36.82. In fact, this is a huge winner if you had, even if you have 100 stocks trading in here. But follow the plan, define your risk. The only thing you know before getting in a trade is your risk. Do your technical analysis. In fact, going into the daily, I give you guys a little bit of hint in there. I'm not going to talk about how I day trade, because this is exactly what I teach. But this is a great learning lesson to to how to follow your plan. Basically, every time if the stock goes up, you want to take profits. If it went up, 31.97 was my target, and that was it, and I took some off. And I moved my stop. I said I moved my stop to 31.68, and this one was about to come down, and it didn't. And that's why I said, I'm just killing it. If you go through the whole thing, and I said I'm killing it. I think the 32 around, somewhere around there, I killed it, just because this was scaring me out. So that's it, guys. That's the learning lesson of today. I also called the NUGT, great trade. I put a chart image on there, and also put a trade on UCO. And again, some of you guys are probably wondering, why am I risking $1? Going back to the same answer, because I can risk $1. All I'm doing is lowering down my position. Okay. And if you look at my NUGT and UCO, the risk was really low, because that's how I wanted to play, with a low risk with a higher position size. And so it is all comes down to exactly how much you want to lose. That's the only thing before getting in a trade. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it out right now. Babies is up, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.